situationship.
Yeah, like, like situationship is, but it's true. Y'all never been in a situationship?
And church too is wild.
Yeah, that is wild.
It's for me.
It's really.
Nobody answered the question.
Y'all try to divert. I know they've been in situationships. I absolutely don't. Don't try that in. I hope you're enjoying our last episode. We had so much fun, if that's the word, but really it was very hard to film that last episode. But we hope that you're enjoying it. As you know, I'm Denito.
And I'm KP. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Share this video with anyone that you feel needs to see it, as well as follow us on Instagram. We just hit 100 followers. Make sure you will follow us to stay up to date with everything that we got going on.
Yeah. And I'm mac and cheese, mac sauce.
And today's topic, we have to be in Comunidad because we're a little bit nervous. I'm so scared.
I'm just a baby.
We're gonna talk about relationships.
Yeah.
I'm so scared.
I'm gonna put it the little
Yeah. Go ahead, Dennis.
Oh gosh.
Thank God.
Listen, I want to preface this by saying I'm in a healthy, loving, committed relationship right now. I'm super happy, and the talking about this current relationship is amazing. I'm so happy to be able to talk about it. But I think unpacking everything else and my journey to get to this relationship was very difficult, right? Because it's about it's the climb. You're done. We're gonna get copyrighted anyway. Take it back. No, but yeah, I think we're going to be talking about relationships.
The intro.
Yeah. both about our current relationships and also unpacking past trauma or situations. I promise it's really not situationships. Yeah, situationships is, but it's true. Y'all never been in a situationship?
And church too is wild.
Yeah, that is wild.
It's for me.
It's really.
Nobody answered the question.
Y'all try to divert. I know they've been in situationships. I absolutely don't. Don't try that in. But we'll talk maybe about the cycle of what's your favorite color?
Bro, I can't do it. My favorite color is yellow. Yeah.
We'll talk about all that, and then feel free to put in the comments any funny relationship stories that you have, because I think that would be really interesting to hear and read them, and we might feature them in our future.
Yes.
In season 2, we'll feature them and we'll read them out loud. So yeah, feel free to send us your relationship stories. Oh gosh. Okay, so where do we start? Where do we start? Okay. So I was actually single for 4.5 years between my last relationship and this one, which is, I know, I can feel y'all staring. Just the shock. Well, anyway, no, but because I think my last relationship before this one was awful. And it took me a long time to kind of heal and kind of find myself again, because I had stripped so many parts of myself to kind of fit what she expected of me or her mold, that after it was over and said and done, I actually didn't know who I was, because I had turned into the version that she wanted, but it wasn't authentic to me, Yeah.
I've only been in one relationship, technically. I was a late bloomer. I didn't start dating until I was 22. Now I'm 25. And
I already gave the backstory of that in the last episode, so if you want to go and watch that, you can do that.
Go to part 2.
Go to part 1.
0.5.
0.5. But yeah, I'm kind of in the stage of like, that I had to heal, that I had to, step out of such a toxic relationship that was in the church and just isolate myself in the Lord, because I, like Dennis, was just molding myself to be this person that wasn't even appreciated at the end of the day.
I never appreciate you.
Like, they want you to change so bad.
Yeah.
And then when you do change for them, you're still not enough for them. You'll never be enough for the wrong person. Go ahead, Keily.
She's sitting on it.
Tag. Not it.
Same.
Okay, so I have been in 3 relationships, 3 real relationships. My first one was in high school. He was my first love. We talked about him in the episode before this, so I'll go down part 0.5. And he actually passed away this November. My first love was before I was a Christian. My second love was when I was in college. At least my freshman year of college. I was 19 years old. He was older. He was a couple years older than me. He wasn't in college. He lived in my home state. And then my third and final love, the love of my life. Amen. Is who I'm with now. We're together, and see us in the building till we get married. You know what it is. But it wasn't easy. You know what I mean? Like, so many people will be like, oh, I've only had like one love or a true love, and I feel like loves or a first love and then, whatever stage of love you're now, I feel like they grow. You know what I mean? Yeah. They really do form kind of the person or the way that you love other people.
Yeah.
And they have all been very memorable, I'll tell you that. So.
Yeah. I think what's difficult is that you realize that no matter how much you change for them, they're the ones that really need the change.
Yeah.
Like, they're the ones that need to actually do the growing, and it could be you, there was parts that maybe that they changed because I wanted them to, and I really was the one that needed to grow. But sometimes when you have to, when you make someone feel like they are not enough to be in your current presence, is because you yourself don't feel enough to even be with anybody. So you're just projecting their feelings. So it's kind of sad to actually be in that situation, because it's painful. It's really it's time consuming and really, really exhausting to be everything for everyone and then still not be enough. Because it starts messing with your head. Makes you feel like you're not worthy of love.
My personal experience after leaving the relationship that I was in, I was fresh off of the no contact, when you log your number and everything like that. And I remember I was starting to talk to this guy. We're gonna call him Lewis or something. Lewis. Arthur. I know you. Anyways. So that's it.
But it's from the back of my mind.
Here. So I was talking to this guy, and I remember I was fresh out of the whole no contact thing, and we started going on dates and stuff. And he was such a nice guy. He was, sending me flowers, going on dates, hitting me up, calling me all the time, making time for me, and I was just like, wow, this is stuff that I used to have to beg for, or that I would have to ask for, and I would receive it in such a pitiful way. And I remember I was like, yay, finally, somebody's giving me the attention, and the love that I would give to somebody, because when I love a lot. You know. So God was like, yeah, you like that, yeah, let him go. So I was like, and what? I was like, what do you mean let him go? He was, you know, God was like, you don't like him.
Yeah.
You like the attention he's giving you after such a toxic breakup. And you know, it really
this is very triggering.
It really ministered to me because I could have easily been disobedient to God because yes, this was a man of God. Yes, he knew how to pray. Yes, he knew how to minister. Yes, he read his Bible. He knew word. You know, all of this. I could have easily ministered with him, but God was like, you have like, what is it? Free will.
Yes.
But like, you have free will. I almost said goodwill. You have free will. You can go with this man if you want, but I won't be there with you because you're not holding me. Like, there's so many wounds that your last relationship caused you. You're gonna bleed all over this man.
Yeah.
Because his affection and stuff can only take you so far. It's not gonna heal you.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of people in the Pentecostal church or like in the Christian community, they move on or they rush into another relationship or an engagement or a marriage without even being healed from what they've been through. And then their partner ends up paying the price.
Yeah.
You know, or they end up miserable. I've seen it in churches. Like, I've seen women, like, a couple get married so fast and then 4 years later, 2 kids in, they're like, she's miserable.
Yeah.
While he's over here playing his bass, she's like taking care of the toddlers and whatnot.
It's the base for me.
Like, I've just seen that, you know, in the Christian realm, they just rush into relationships and they rush into marriage. Or like, oh, I want to fornicate, let me just get married real quick.
Yeah.
And then you're miserable.
Yeah, you're not fornicating, but you know everything else. Like, you know, like I also think that they want intimacy, right? They want intimacy, but they don't know how to be intimate with God first. And you know, and they seek it and they desire it and they just want to feel loved and be loved by somebody else, when God's like, you have to start with me. Like, have a relationship with me, you know, be intimate with me, and then you can be whole enough to be with somebody else. Because I think that's the problem. The problem is that we have all these, like, young kids who have not have any life experience, have no plans for the future. Like, y'all are both working these dead-end jobs, and y'all want to enter a marriage when you guys have no plans, like nothing to plan for, no future, and then you want to bring kids into it, and then you become miserable because you're not a full person yet, like you're not realized yet. You have no idea what you want to do with your life. You have no idea. The only thing that you know is 14 coritos and 3 worship songs, and that's all you want to bring into the relationship. Like, you haven't even you don't even know yourself. And then you want to start to get to know somebody else and go into a relationship and a marriage when you both have nothing to offer each other.
Wow.
You know?
I'm silenced.
Wow.
silenced. I love the fact that you brought up, like, after being in a relationship like that, the other dude that treated you well. I had that experience between relationship number 2 and relationship number 3. Where, you know, the guy was checked off all the boxes for me, with me flowers on his lunch break and chocolate.
Yes, it's the flowers and chocolate.
Was everything. I love me some sunflowers and yellow.
Yes, Lord.
That is my combo. But that's besides the point. He was checking off every box for me. You know what I mean? Like, at least the things that I thought I really wanted. And like, I would look at it and be like, oh, like this is it. You know, like this is so good.
That's the point.
And I sat there one day and I was like, this is not what I want. This is not what I want.
JK.
Because it was JK. Because what I thought I wanted wasn't what I wanted, and I had stayed in it, I would have settled so bad. And he's a beautiful person, and you know, he deserves the world, and his, you know, his own self. And I was really grateful for his friendship. Like, I realized that when I had gotten into, we weren't even in a relationship, we were just dating. We were going on dates and like, you know, just spending time together. And this was like me, like the summer between, you know, me going back to school, going back for the fall semester. I was getting to know him, and he was great. But I was like, I don't like you. Like, I like you. I like you, but like I don't like you.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't like you. Like I don't see myself getting married. I don't see myself like, obviously you don't need to see yourself getting married the first moment. You know what I mean? But like I couldn't see myself like just like doing normal things.
And doesn't it like suck? Like,
It sucks.
We're used to being the victim, and now we're the bad person.
Yeah, I sat there and said it's not you, it's me. And I was like, we gotta hash this out. And we did, and you know, like we're friends, and he's living his own life, and you know, I'm happy with Josiah. But when I sat there, like I had asked God, like, what's wrong with me? That this isn't what I want. And then, you know, the Lord had ministered to me of the, you know, you're comparing him too much to, let's call him Arthur. You're comparing him too much to Arthur. Yeah. And that's why you think that he's well and what he is, because compared to Arthur, he's checking off all the boxes. Yeah. But if you really analyze, let's call him Jake. If you really analyze Jake is not, he wasn't a white boy, probably. He was not a white boy. If you analyze Jake isn't hitting any of the boxes you want. Yeah. You know, like this is a filler. Like this is what you're trying to do. And I sat there like so angry, not at God but at myself, of now I was becoming my ex. Now I was becoming my ex. Now I was trying to be, you know, now I was trying to be, you know, this person that was like trying to find replacements for something that I used to want. And I was like, I have to cut this off now. Because I was Arthur.
You became Arthur.
I became Arthur.
You became Arthur.
And I was like, damn, like, how do I cut this off? And I did. And it was for the best because, you know, we're both living thriving lives. But I
would have made him miserable.
I would have hurt him.
No, it's not even like really funny.
I would have hurt him. Yeah, like not physically, of course. I'm 5'3". But I would have hurt him. Like I would have been Arthur in his life, and I don't want that for him. I don't want that for anybody.
Nobody deserves to go through that
ever.
Yeah,
ever.
Nobody deserves to be in a relationship where they're not enough.
Yeah,
you know.
To be the replacement for someone.
Yeah, or to be a placeholder.
Yeah.
Like, you're not good enough for me, but there's no one else that is as good, so you're just going to hover here for a bit until I find something better, and then I can swap it out. But even, like, that's not fair. And I think it's because we live in a society, I think especially, you know, all of us are Latinos, like, at our age, we should be married with 14 kids.
No facts.
You know? Like, we should be already, like, having
14. Okay.
But you know what I mean? Like 2.5 kids, 3 dogs, a white picket fence. You know what I mean? Like
3 dogs is fine.
That's 17 kids. That's 2.5 kids. That's 2 kids and pregnant.
Yeah, I know. That's not a mad blood.
Yeah. No, but you know, like that's what we should be. That I think we feel the expectation of like society or our families that
or even church
because like do you like is that really your future spouse, or do they just go to the same church as you and you're both single around the same time? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
the same council.
Yeah, the same council. Do you love each other, or do you just go to trimestral together? Like, that's like tri-monthly? No, it's trimestral. It's trimestral.
For y'all, for her, it was trimestral. For New York, it's
okay. Sorry, we're not from New York.
Yeah.
But I think we just people are getting together out of convenience.
Yes.
And not because there's actually anything really there.
Sorry, not to cut you off.
No,
people in the church, they get conformed with dating someone who has a public ministry.
Yes.
Whether they preach, they play music, and this is just me speaking as a girl, right? Because if we see a talented pianist who can sing, and he's single, we're like, Lord, this is
like, it's
what?
like he hits that F key for me.
Yeah, like. he has to be the word. First of all, he's a pastor's kid or whatever. He plays the piano. He sings. You check off your little Pentecostal boxes, and then
It's not easy.
you don't even know like what he deals with behind closed doors.
Yeah.
And what he does when nobody's looking. Or who, like, how does he even pray? Does he even, read the word? Does he know the word? Or does he just like steal messages from online?
I can hear around you, but I won't. I promise I won't. I promise.
And not only that, but when I see couples in, and I want this to go into this, but when I see couples in the church like get presented or something, all of a sudden, like, and after the little public presentation, there's mad confirmations coming.
Yes.
Yeah, like, where's my we've been together 3 years, and where's my confirmation?
Yeah. I was in my last relationship before this one. There were prophets all over. Like, los profetas estaban en todas esquinas. Like,
Like angels.
Like angels. Like, they were dispatched from Africa. Like, they were dispatched from everywhere. Like, yeah, like, no, but the prophets were everywhere talking about, like, y'all are getting married. Y'all like, no, we just sing really well together. like, they're like, oh, yo veo la gloria de Dios sobre ustedes. No, we just harmonized. Like, like, that's all that we can do. Like,
And now that we listened, it wasn't a good.
and it wasn't a good harmony. Like, we did not do well, But I think they saw two charismatic people with a lot of potential, and I pray that she reaches that potential because she's a wonderful person. We just were not meant for each other, and I pray that everything that the Lord spoke over her happens in her life because she really does deserve the best, and she could have a really amazing ministry,
Yeah.
And I think they saw two potential ministries that they were like, yes, this is it, and they were guided by their emotions. And I fear that there's a lot of people that they didn't get to the point where they realized that what they were being told was out of emotion and they didn't get out. So that's why you have these relationships that are 7 or 10 years married, and now you're in your 30s and early 40s, and you're like, I actually don't like this person, but we've already built this life that we can't get out of it now. Like, we can't get out of it now, and because you just got married out of ministry. And newsflash for a lot of people, you might not be in ministry for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
You know what I mean? Like, you might not be like singing and preaching your entire life. Like, there's gonna come a point where, I pray that it doesn't for a lot of you, and that you have a thriving, beautiful ministry, but like, sometimes it's just over. And when you're not exciting, or you don't have that many followers, or you're not going as viral, are you still gonna love the person that you're with? Or do you just want your pictures to get a lot of likes because you're together? I don't know. I feel like this generation, or the young bucks, don't really understand that you're not getting married to have sex.
Wow.
Yeah, like, you're not getting married to go into intimacy. You're getting married because you want to build a life with this person. You want to grow. You want to, like, live a passionate life, not only for them, but with Christ. You know what I mean? Like, for Christ. And I think we just think that marriage just leads to sex, when it's like, if you're getting married just because you want to have sex now and you don't want to sin, like, you don't actually like this person. You're in lust. You're not in love.
Wow.
That's good. Do it. I think, listen, like, and I have the most amazing man as my boyfriend, and I love him, and we have been through a lot together. We've been together for almost 3 years. 3 years in August. Anyway, but it's like, it's very true what Dennis is saying. Like, I would say, like, oh yeah, like, we're gonna get married, or like, I hope to marry Josiah, last year and the year before. But it's like, you can't say that you're gonna get married to someone, or you want to get married to someone, before you've gone through the ringer with that person. Because you don't know what that person is like. You don't know what they're like when they're bad. You don't you don't know what they're like when somebody has passed away, when, something goes wrong, when they lose their job, There's so many different factors, and everybody's like, oh, I want to get married because we do ministry well together, or I want to get married to this person because, like, we have a good time. But it's like, what about the bad times? You know what I mean? And this last year for Josiah and I has been hard in the sense of like we are in a long distance relationship. We live 3.5 hours away from each other. You know, his ministry is picking up. My ministry, you know, is developing and you know is flourishing in its own way. And now it's like when he's free, I'm not free. When I'm free, he's not free. So like, when do we see each other? You know what I mean? And it's not just about seeing each other, but it's like, how can you be with someone that you know, don't get to see, someone that, you know, you don't get to spend time with. And so there has been some rocky moments lately because the more you're with someone, the more you love them. You know what I mean? Like, the heart really grows fonder. But we're also growing, you know, in different areas as well. So it's like, we have changed so much. And like, this is a new chapter of our story. Like, this is a different type of love. Like, we're out of the honeymoon stage. You know what I mean? Like, we very much still are lovey-dovey with each other, but we're out of the like, oh, like, this is great, this is cute. Like, now we're being smart, we're being strategic. Like, what does this look like? What does that look like? And I feel like so many people want to put on a ring and have this big grand ball of a wedding. And it's like, you're not ready for that. You don't know this person. You don't know what it's like. You don't know what it's going to be like. But it's like, oh, well, he treats me well. Okay, what about then? Yeah. Like, when he gets mad, is he going to leave? Right. You don't know that. So,
I also think, like, we put so much importance on how people are in public ministry and in church. But, like, does he know how to balance a checkbook? Does he have a bank account?
Yeah.
How does his credit score look like? Does he have any future plans for investment? Does he have a career path? Like, outside of church, outside of the 2.5 hours that you spend in a service, that you see him in public ministry, or that you see her in public ministry, what is their outside life look like? Like, are they hardworking? Are they lazy? Do they call out of work often? Because that will tell you so much about, like, are you gonna get?
How does he treat his mom?
Oh my God, yes.
And his dad
or his siblings. Like, how do they treat the people that they love? Because that will tell you so much. But we focus so much on the potential of public ministry and like the pulpit and what is seen, where you have to uncover what is not seen.
Yes.
Like, are you gonna inherit death out of like debt? Like, are you going to marry somebody who's like thousands of dollars in debt? That's a lot. There's just so many things that people don't think about, but all they want to do is like spend have a huge party in a wedding so they can take pictures. Yeah. And it's like, that is so in Punta Cana. You know, or Mexico. Like, either Punta Cana or Mexico, and it's like, girl, he's in debt. Like,
I be saying, y'all find out from tears.
Like, y'all find out spirit.
Like, spirit's not gonna lie. Spirit's not gonna lie. I get that in spirit and truth. Okay. Just kidding. No, and it's like, you are so quick to commit to one night. One night in the hotel room, but you're not ready to come in to the other 364 days outside of the pool that I'm drinking. It's like, y'all are not ready for that. No. And it's like, I am 23 years old and I'm still like, okay, so what does this look like? And not even just like about the two, because you also have to focus on, you know, we all hear the verse and then the two become one. Okay, what about the one? Before the two? That then converts into one. You know, like, you need to also build yourself up as well. Because if you're getting into a relationship with someone because they're cute, or because they can sing, or because they can play an instrument, or because they can preach, what do you do? What do you offer? Right. Because we talk a lot about what do they offer you. What do you offer them? Like, are you just the musician? Are you just the worshiper or the leader or whatever? What do you do outside of church? Right. You know, do you work? Do you have goals for yourself? Do you, how do you treat your mom? How do you treat your grandma? Like, what are your relationships with other people? Because if you don't have good relationships with other people, how do you expect to be in a good relationship? Right. This is good. Yeah, this is good. This is
my wheels are turning right now.
This is good. I'm like, I can't believe.
Yeah, no, seriously. I just think that, again, I'll say it again, I think we just put so much emphasis on public ministry that we forget that people are people outside of church. And not fornicating. And that's like, it's so reductive to put that over yourself and to feel like that feeling, like when y'all are sitting in the middle of an argument, like y'all think you're gonna pull out the Bible and read Zechariah, like no, like you don't even know how you handle conflict yet.
Yeah.
And you think this is good because of how they are in the pulpit, like you know, you're making a decision based on
Emotion.
and what people will perceive as success.
Yes.
You know, and you're not putting into account that a good marriage or a good relationship will grow together. Like we'll grow together. I'll give an example, right? Like I'm a worshiper, and I love to sing. It's like my favorite thing. And my girlfriend Dorca, she's also a worshiper. What's her name? Yeah, well, you know, by the time this comes out, it's fine. But so she is so like mellow and calm, and that's her style of worship. It's very beautiful and it's very, very like soothing. And I'm like I'm doing 3 backflips and running. But watching her minister and ministering with her has softened me, and I've grown. My worship has like evolved and grown because I'm learning from this person to be like, wow, God is doing such a beautiful move while you sing, and you're not like doing the backflip Olympics or doing anything. Not saying that was a performance or anything like that. That's just how it came out. But I also could have tapped into this kind of soft and serene, but I thought that it wouldn't have led or be as successful as the worship that I am used to. And a good relationship helps you grow. She never told me, oh, you sing like really aggressively or you're too much. She actually likes those things about me, you know? But it was just watching her, because she's amazing and wonderful, and we can spend like the entire rest of the podcast talking about how an incredible person she is, but made me want to grow. And made me want to change, and that was, and not like change my worship, but know that there's a different occasion for everything, you know, and that sometimes it's okay to be really calm and serene. But when you have somebody that is just like doesn't inspire you to do anything, like do you want to stay in that? Like, is that what you want to do? Like, I mean, for those watching, I don't want you to look at your current partner and be like, you need to go, you need to leave, you know? But like, but think about it. Like, if you're in a relationship right now, or you're in the stage of that you're looking for a relationship, like, think about all these things. Like, it's not about how many boxes they check off. Because you really could be with anybody, no matter how many boxes they check off. I know that we all have the ones that are like, you know, they have to do these things because that's what is attractive to me, and that's totally fine. But sometimes we focus so much on how many boxes they're checking off that we forget about the boxes that we're not even writing down that are actually really important. Yeah.
I think it's okay to be with someone that doesn't check off all the boxes.
I think that makes you guys work on the checking off the boxes together.
Yes. And coming up with goals that we can do. No, then we add more boxes. So we're like, okay, we're so used to, let's get married, let's have kids. He's tall, he sings, he got a car, he got a job, he can preach. My mom likes him, and he's not. Now my mom American.
And he's like every other dude. That's like every other dude.
Yeah, and then he makes you miserable, and you're like, you know. So
yeah, that's actually what I've seen. Yeah, a lot of couples like get married fast, and then the preacher's over here like, I see that it's something, blah blah blah. And then after they get the mic and the service is over, they're talking down on their wives. They're like, oh, but then we shot ahí en el carro. Dale, okay, we have to go. And I'm just like, you were just ministering. Why are you talking to her like that? Imagine what happens behind closed doors.
Yes.
And I'm like, I don't want that, Lord. I don't want that, because so many women. I can only say this because I'm a girl. Like, you know, I've seen it. So many girls, we're emotional, we're fragile. We want affection. We want, you know, to be treated right and whatever. But we get so conformed with the honeymoon phase. We get so conformed with the flowers and the chocolates, and then when it's 5 years in and he has $20 to his name and the baby's hungry You know, like they don't think about that stuff. They only get conformed with what's present, and that's only in the cupcake phase. You know,
and you know that I would rather take no flowers,
yeah,
but a good relationship than flowers in a bad relationship.
yeah.
And I learned that over the last, I want to say, how old am I now? The last maybe like 6 years of like being so young, 16 years old, I was 17 years old, and kind of like progressing through, you know, like being in a relationship when I wasn't Christian to then being in relationships where I was Christian, and just developing, like seeing that the boxes that I had or had written down that I wanted to be checked off are not the boxes that I need now. You know what I mean? And I think that we are quick to settle for something that looks good because we think it eventually will be good. But I think if it only looks good now, it won't be good later. You know, and there are so many things that you kind of are aware of like that single phase. Where you're like, okay, in my last relationship, not to compare, you know, both parties, but and you know, for example, in my last relationship, this didn't work out. In my last relationship, this didn't work out, and this. And then I get into a new relationship, and I'm like, okay, these 3 things now they have to happen in this. But it's also like it's not necessarily about the partner; it's about me.
Right.
So it's like, did I develop in that stage between me with Arthur and me with Jake? You know what I mean? No, I didn't. I was bleeding all over this person. I wasn't healed, and I couldn't, you know, really be happy with the person that he was. Granted, he wasn't my person, but I couldn't, like, I just couldn't kind of attach myself to him because I still had this attachment with Arthur. And it's like I had to separate myself and work on myself, and then be, you know, with who I am with now. Because if I hadn't taken time to work on myself, I would have hurt. I would be hurting Josiah now.
And you know, Arthur loving you harder wouldn't have changed you. Like when you're with someone that's not meant for you, loving them harder isn't like you can buy me all the flowers and whatever you want. That's underneath, like you can get me the room. I know, but it won't satisfy because you're not a whole half, and that's the title of today, a whole half. There's so many people that walk around with wounds and holes all over them, and they fill it with temporary affection, when Christ is the only one that can fill the void and overpass your cup. You know what I mean? Like the only way to enter into a relationship that is of the Lord is if both have been made whole in Christ.
And I have to say, because a lot of people will be like, oh yeah, like God is at the center of our relationship.
Is he?
But when things get wrong, God is not in the middle. God is not foundation. God is not the referee. Because it's a boxing match with no referee. Like y'all are just hitting each other. And
the only thing at the center is discord.
No, but it's like, oh, God is at the center of a relationship. You can tell when a relationship with God. Like you don't pray, you don't fast, like y'all are not meant to be together, and everybody will tell you that.
They don't know the foundations of intimacy or relationship.
That's what I'm saying. But also on that accord, I had just mentioned something about like there will be people around you that will tell you if you have a God-fearing relationship and if you don't. And I think that we can't always go by those opinions because a lot of people don't see what goes on the inside of the house.
Gotcha.
They only see what we present on the outside. That's we're holding hands. That's good. We're having a meal, or when we say like, oh, we're having this problem, you only get the one side. So there's a lot that goes in the house that a lot of people don't see, and then they form opinions. And then that's when that confirmation comes through of like, oh man, this is good. Like, but you don't know what happens inside the house, or this is bad and this isn't for you, but you don't know what happens inside the house. So it's like you really have to know who you're with, and also trust that God will either separate you both, or like He will allow this to continue. And you have to ask for the discernment to know the difference. Of like, am I saying because I'm staying, or am I saying because the Lord has allowed me to stay?
And we have 2 broken people who have yet not like been whole or been healed, trying to get together and trying to make one person out of scraps. You know, out of like
so a cycle.
Like reduce when it's like you're not even like you haven't even fully healed what's holding you back from reaching your full potential, and you're gonna try to.
Do you think anybody's gonna face it?
Yeah, like that's not gonna be the source of your happiness. If you're depressed now in a relationship, you're still gonna be depressed just in a relationship.
Wow.
Like if you're trying to hide like your sadness, you're just gonna try to hide it now from the person you're with. Like a relationship is not gonna solve your loneliness.
You're gonna take it out on that person.
Yes, they're gonna now become the source of your happiness. And people are humans, and they're going to not meet up to your standard, even if they're the right person for you. If you are still not fully healed, they're never gonna, like, God can give you the most incredible thing, and you are not going to be whole enough to be able to cherish it. Because you're still gonna want them to fill a gap that God is the only one that can fill. So you're gonna put this unbelievable expectation on them that they're going to ultimately fail. And it's like, I feel sad for the folks for the people and the youth that are getting into relationships out of loneliness, when it's like, no, like, get to the root of that first. Like, a person is not going to fill your loneliness. Like, they're not going to be the source of your happiness. They can't be, because the joy comes from the Lord. You know, and I know that being with someone does make you feel happy, you know, like, and it does, like, there's nothing so beautiful than being loved fully by somebody, and you know that they don't love you in spite of, but they just love you, period, you know, and there's just something really beautiful in that. But you can't give the other person that much power to, like, hold your happiness, right? When God is saying to you, like, no, I want to be the one to hold on to the happiness. I want to be the one that I want that gives it to you, that is a never-ending well of love and affection and joy for your life. It's not this person. This person will definitely add to it, but they can never replace what I can give you. No matter how beautiful the relationship is, no matter how many flowers they give you, at one point those flowers die, and so will your relationship if it's built on that, you know? And I think that you have to understand that once you say, God, I'm going to stop looking for someone that checks my boxes, and I need you to reveal the person that has checked yours.
Yes.
Right? That's because there's such a difference with saying, I want, right? Like, Dorka and I have had a really long journey where it was the right person, wrong timing. And we've kind of been yes, no, will they, won't they, for like 2.5 years. And now we're in the spot where, yes, it's been a yes, it's finally, yeah, like, we're good. Like, this is exactly who we're meant to be with. I believe that. I don't need anyone else to come in and give a confirmation. I don't need anyone else to even say that they heard this from the Lord. I know that this is it. I know that this is it, and it happened because we waited on the timing of the Lord. It was a right person, but it was a wrong time before, you know. And you just have to wait. Again, I know that 4-letter word is awful. It's not the word that we want to hear. You know,
the LOV.
Yeah, we want the LOV, but sometimes God is like WAIT. You know, like that,
or NOP.
Because he be like, no.
Right.
Oh, and he be answering that prayer back. I be answering
I prayed that prayer over the last 2.5 years. I said, God, if this isn't it, and
it'd be the next day, free shipping.
My overnight yet to say no. So I'm like, LOV. No, other things. I'll go first.
He be answering it right away.
Yeah. He be like, bet.
Remove it now.
And he's like, if you won't, I will. Heartbreak.
He will dry it up. You think that you're flourishing and oh no, it's not the time, but God's gonna do it anyway. And God's like, no, I'm saying get out.
Like, you stay with the person that you're not supposed to be with. That person you're playing filler with. God will let you know very quickly that this is not your place. I'm gonna sit there and be like, my heart's hard. But he's nice to me when he takes me out to eat. But I pay. When he takes me out to eat,
I'm gonna pay him.
I can name multiple instances, but I won't. Not with Josiah.
I mean, so y'all is great.
Yeah, he's wonderful.
But
and he can sing, y'all. Look him up. He can sing. He can sing.
Put his little app.
Yo, he can sing.
No, because that was last baby and she anyway, but no, when you're with the wrong person,
You know.
You know.
And the longer you hold on to it, the more it will dry up. And it'll give you no other option but to get out.
It hurts. Yeah.
You have to get out.
You have to. You have to for your life, for your future, like
Your soul.
Yeah.
If you have children with the wrong person, they will suffer. God will look at them like Ishmael instead of Isaac.
Yeah.
You know how Abraham and Hagar had a child?
Take us to church. Come on.
So,
Okay.
because the Hagar, saying that, you know, Sarah was waiting years for a child, and she got so desperate, she was like, use my servant Hagar.
Ooh. Hagar, look it up.
Yeah,
It's a replacement.
It's a replacement that fills for only so much.
Mm-hmm.
And then Abraham is over here suffering with this rivalry of Sarah and Hagar, and he has to tell them to flee, like, you guys have to leave.
Yeah.
And imagine being with the wrong person and you have a child, and he doesn't bless your child the way that he intended to. He's like, yes, I'll bless Ishmael, yes, but my pact is with Isaac, my promise is with Isaac.
Yeah.
And that's what we want to talk about when it comes to relationships and marrying the wrong person. God's gonna look at you like he did with Abraham and Hagar and Ishmael.
Yeah. And we know what we're talking about because
we lived it.
We lived
We're
it.
products.
Yeah, like we're products of that. My parents divorced before I was even one.
My
You know?
parents.
Right. Right. You know, and I think that we know what it's like to, you know, I never saw my parents together. I never saw their love. I never saw what happened. You know, I never saw anything. And, you know, I don't want my kids to ever have to go through that at all. I don't want them to ever not know that their parents love each other. You know, my Dorca's parents are so in love, and every time I'm there, I'm like, God, she's so blessed to be able to see two people that made her love each other so boldly. And I'm like, I know that generational curse is broken because I just had to break it on my side, and I know that it's gone. You know, and I know that it's gone. But it's just, it's so hard, like especially when kids are involved. To have, I've been around people that don't like each other and they have kids, and it's so palpable. It's so palpable. Like, you know, being there is so awkward because I'm like, I know y'all don't love each other. Like, and the kids are gonna grow up in an environment where they don't feel love, you know, like, and I just, if you're watching and you're in that situation where you're with someone and the signs are there and God has already made you feel a certain way, like, just go. You know, like I'd rather you take the sadness of having to let go of something that you think that you desire than for you to go into something that will lead to a lifelong grief. Because you're going to be in a constant state of grief, missing what God really intended for you. You know, God still had to bless Ishmael. God still had to bless him. But if they had only waited for Isaac, they would have never have to be a lifelong grief of not even knowing where my kid is at, not even knowing where he grew up, like not even knowing anything. And that's what we do sometimes when we try to go our way. God has something so amazing and so special for your life that it is so much better to wait.
Wait on the Lord.
Cue the music. Yeah.
Oh wait, I can't sing that.
That's okay. It's just 30 seconds. After 45 seconds. But no, like, you know, if you just wait on the Lord, he really will show you what is meant for you and what he has for you. There's no amount of boxes checked that can supplement what the Lord has for you.
Amen.
Because he got you. He knows what you want. And I mean that in every sense of the word. Like,
He knows what he wants.
yeah.
It is so much better than what you could ever want.
Oh, God.
It's just great within the lines, because it's like when he gives you what he wants, and then it does turn out to be the thing that you not only need but desire as well. It's like, okay, we're good.
Yeah,
Like, we're smooth sailing.
Yeah.
But it's like when he gives you what he wants, but it's not what you wanted it to look like. It's tricky at first.
Yeah.
This is not what I hadn't liked.
Yeah.
So take your eyes off the worship leaders and
The package
the
kids.
6'6"
The musicians.
tall or the singing.
I mean, the
and
six
preaching.
the six and up, you know.
Keely, you're in a relationship.
Like, you can still aim for height. You know.
Oh, okay. Don't do that, right?
The short kings deserve money.
Yes, we do. Okay.
They're not short.
I am pretty sure.
5'4" is like.
Oh, that's true. I'm 5'7", yeah. No, but I think the person that God may not be standing on an altar right now or behind a pulpit. They could be just sitting in the row right behind you. But they're going to build such a beautiful life for you. And stop looking for the person that is already there when there could be somebody that's just starting to get their potential. And that will be more worthwhile.
Yeah.
That's like...
That has so much more value.
So much
Just
more
building
value
together.
than building, yeah. Like that's so much more than having to try to carve your space in something that's already been built, right? Because like if you find somebody that's so in love with ministry, they might not even love you as much as they love ministry. And I know we gotta go. I know that it's getting to time, but I just feel that like don't settle for potential. Don't settle for what's already there. Don't settle. Just wait on what God has for you, because God will never put you in a situation where you have to settle. Like He's gonna put you in a situation where y'all are going to thrive and have beautiful and amazing marriages. And that's what we pray for you. We pray that you are now finding yourself in a situation where if you're in the season of singleness and you're actively looking for someone to love and to love you, God will reveal them in time, And if you're currently in a relationship that you know you shouldn't be in, acaba tu vida. Like, go ahead and leave. And if you are in a relationship or God has confirmed and you feel like this is it, hold on to that. But don't let down your guard. Keep praying. Keep it, because the enemy can get in and try to remove that from you. So
That was good.
this was so good. I loved this conversation.
I would not have been able to have
You
you
imagine
imagine
this
I was
that.
so nervous, yeah, because it is nerve-wracking, and we want to hear all about your relationships. We do, like, not as being nosy, but but we want to hear all about like what you've been going through, like shoot us advice, like ask us questions, like about anything that you want. Like our DMs are open, you can even like send them to the SHLTR podcast, like whatever you guys need, just let us know. Like we're here, we're honestly here for you. What we said in that first episode that we wish you turned into our found family, like we still mean that, and that means talking about relationships. We'll be non-judgmental, and we'll give it to you straight, like we'll give it to you, like but all this to say is that I hope that you enjoy this, and we can't wait to see you next time. Bye. God bless you.